What's going on, everyone? Good morning. Welcome to Home Built Workshop. Welcome to Wednesday Live. How's everybody doing today? This fine Wednesday morning. At least a Wednesday morning here. I hope wherever it is where you are is great as well. Sorry, I'm trying to get everything situated here. And my mouse is dying. It's making it really difficult to get everything set. Every time I click something, it doesn't do anything. I actually thought earlier that it was my computer was frozen because I'm pressing the button and it wasn't doing a thing. I think the button's going out. Time to toss this one in the trash and use a different one. I don't know about you, but you guys have like tons of spare mice. Not the little mice that the cats catch, but I got, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them stored around here somewhere. Anyway, what's going on? How we doing? Oh, let's see here. You guys are here early. Well, either that or I'm a minute or so late. Robert's here. Robert says, howdy, people. Hope everyone is doing well and staying safe and healthy. Sam, hello, everyone. Gives a wave. Robert says, hearing the cigar box make sound this last weekend was nice. Tweak it a bit if you don't already, or if you didn't already, and it should be pretty nice to play. It is super nice to play. I have done a little bit more tweaking on it, and yeah, it's pretty cool. And I do wish it was a lefty, but that's the reason that I didn't make it a lefty, because I knew I'd want it. Yeah, I got everything pretty well fine-tuned. It sounds awesome. It really does. I'm impressed with how much if you put overdrive on that little pickup, man, it really takes distortion and overdrive well. Not that that is really what it's designed for, but I always like to see, how does it sound if I crank this up? Sam says, hello, Jeffafa. What's up, Sam? Mike's here. Mike Johnson says, morning, Jeff, and others. Mike, good morning. How are you doing this fine Wednesday morning? Robert says, there he is. Ha. Harry Dude's here. Says, what's up? Hello, everyone. Harry Dude, what's going on? Right on. How we doing? How is everyone? Feels like it's been a year since we've hung out. In reality, it's only been a week. But cheers, everyone. I hope we're all doing awesome. What kind of projects are you working on? I want to know. I want to know all the details. All the dirty details and whatever it is you got on the bench or the table or the counter or whatever it is. Alrighty. So did you guys see you saw the final episode? We wrapped that up finally, which was super cool. Like I was just saying, I really like that guitar, and yeah, it's gonna be a cool one for someone. I still need to get it listed on the website, but it's gonna be a cool one. I really like the way it came out, the way it sounds, the way it plays, all that. Super cool. So if anybody's watching and you haven't seen all of the build videos, there's a 5-part series on the YouTube channel. There's a whole entire playlist. You can go check it out and watch the whole build series. And it'll be available soon on the Haley Guitars website. Robert says, I had my oil changed in the 2013 Ford Focus yesterday. Very cool. I got to do an oil change on one of our vehicles as well. Might do that this weekend. Actually, maybe I will, because I got a couple things that I got to get taken care of on that vehicle this weekend. We had, let's see, how do you start this? We've been having a tire that keeps losing pressure. Right, I'll put air in it, here at the house, and it'll be okay for a while, and then it'll be low again. Just the left rear will lose air. I'll blow it back up, and a week or two, it's lost air again. What in the world? So we've taken it to the tire shop more than once. Actually, I think the first time it started losing air, we took it to the tire shop. They, I don't know, cleaned the bead and all that, put it back together, and it seemed okay for a while. And then it started this same process again. loses air. I blow it up, it loses air. And it's not quick. It's like over I don't know, a week or two, it'll lose air. And so we took it to the tire shop again last week. And they said, okay, you've got corrosion in your rim. I guess it was a different guy or something. I don't know why they couldn't tell me this the first time. But it still sounds weird. But anyway, they said there's some corrosion in there, and it's not letting the beads seal very well. Okay, well, at least that's somewhat of an explanation. So went on the old eBay and ordered up another rim, the same, for the same OEM rim for the vehicle. That came yesterday. So now I gotta take it to the tire shop, have them swap it over onto this new one, and hope that the new one is better than the one that's on there. And so I gotta do that, and then I gotta get the oil changed. Well, I'm gonna change the oil, but I need to get a new drain plug, because the drain plug that's in there was, when we first got the vehicle like a year ago, the drain plug was crank. I don't know, they put the thing on with an impact wrench or something. It was ridiculously way too tight. And in the process of getting the drain plug off, it kind of boogered up the bolt head. So I've been dealing with it for a year, but I need to get a new one, because I'd like to be able to just climb under there and, use a normal wrench and knock it loose. So I got to do that. Got to get the oil change. I got to take the tire to the tire shop. Anyway, that's what I have to do. Thanks for racking my brain by mentioning the oil change, Robert. Donna's here. Donna says, good morning. Coffee up? As cold as heck, gonna get blown away. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Yes, Donna, coffee up. Cheers. Stay warm. Yeah, we're in a bit of a cold spell too. We actually had some precipitation that looked slightly like snow. Not last night, but the night before. It started raining, and it rained all afternoon. This was Sunday, I believe. Sunday afternoon. No, Monday afternoon. I don't remember. Whatever day it was, it rained. And it wasn't terrible, just a cold rain. But that evening, as it got colder, that's when it started turning to snow. Where we were, it was more of a frozen slush. It wasn't necessarily snow, but I'm counting it. Nothing accumulated on the ground where we are, but definitely farther out east from us, we had snow on the ground. So I could say that was probably our first snow. Oh boy. Yeah, so happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Here in the US anyway. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. And yeah, I wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys all take a moment to, be thankful. Think of what you're thankful for, all that sort of stuff. Yes, does it sound a little bit hokey? It can, but seriously, there's something to it, I think. Just practice gratitude, right? For friends, family, what we have, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you all have an amazing day. Adonis says, I understand the lefty. I'm a lefty as well. Yes, lefties, unite. Robin's here. Robin says, hi, Jeff and everyone. A bit late, but glad to be here. Robin, no worries on being late. You got plenty of time, and I'm glad you're here as well. Right on. Robert says it uses full synthetic, so the oil changes are spread out over a bit of time. I don't drive it as much as I did when I was still working. The oil did not look bad before changing. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that the that synthetic oil, some of the oil change intervals that they give you, that it makes me nervous. I don't know. I'm old school enough that when they say you can go 7,000 to 10,000 miles in some cases, there is a 0% chance that I will ever intentionally do that. There would have to be some sort of crazy circumstance that caused me to not be able to change the oil. Even with full synthetic, that's what we run in our vehicles. I still try to change it every 3,000 miles. Now, sometimes does it go 3,500? Maybe closer to 4 once in a while, but I sure don't. I try to keep that 3,000 miles like we were taught to way back when. I don't know. just the little old school piece of it for me. Robert says currently it's 41 degrees and says it feels like 41. It rained a good bit a couple days ago. That's probably the same storm that we got. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, we haven't really had snow yet to be this late in November. And really, like I said, there was snow in the air, but there was nothing really on the ground. So we didn't have a whole lot of snow. So it's kind of crazy. I'll take it though. Our weather's been pretty mild for November, but it's not going to last. And right now I've actually got the heat on over there. Hopefully you don't hear like a hiss, too much of a hissing sound. I do have it running because it is kind of chilly in here and I'm out here trying to do some work. Which leads us right into what Mike is asking. Mike says, Jeff, what's next on your bench? Well, I'm testing out a product for a company. It's a sponsored video that I'm working on. But it's pretty cool. I'm having a good time. So I'll just show you. I mean, you're going to see it when the video comes out, but I'm not 100% sure when that video is coming out. Right now, I am working on testing out. I don't know if you guys have probably seen these. Laser welder. This is the X1 laser welder from X Laser Labs. They sent me this over to test out, to try, make a video about. And that's what I'm working on right now. And so far, it is wild. Some of the stuff you can do with this thing. So I've got most of the video filmed, where I'm testing things and learning how to use this laser welder. I mean, it just does such a tiny little bead. Don't judge the quality of my bead because I'm still learning how to make this thing do stuff. But let's take a look. So we have you can't see me. I gotta kneel down. So we got the laser welder and the wire feed. It literally uses, this is a 700 watt fiber laser. So fiber lasers can cut metal. Where I've cut this off with the laser. You can cut metal, you can weld metal, and you can basically clean metal by like vaporizing rust and stuff like that. So it's been a learning experience over the last couple of days, but I'm also really liking this, and I gotta put it to the test a lot more, really learn the ins and outs of things. But it's what I'm working on right now. The goal is to have the video out this weekend. It's almost completely done, but this is one where I do have to get approval. So I got a feeling it might not make the deadline this weekend. But yeah, it's been pretty wild. Oh, it's following me now. There you go. Hello, camera. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Robin says, it looks like a ray gun. Yeah, I know. That's what I said in the video. It looks like some sort of like space gun. This right here is where the wire feed, I'm gonna knock something on the floor probably. But this goes on here. It gets attached, kind of like that. But then it really looks like some sort of weird space gun. Robert says, have you been updating the files on the CNC to update since you changed the spindle on the machine? I have been slowly working on that. I did create a new waste board. I got all the threaded inserts in there and the updated layout grid, and I'm updating the files. There's been several people on that video that mentioned, hey, you could just do an offset of some sort of G-code offset thing. And yeah, you could, The problem is, I shouldn't call it a problem. The challenge, I guess, would be I don't know G code enough to know that, oh, all you need to do is change this number, that sort of thing, right? I just don't. And rather than completely learning G code from scratch, I mean, I know just a handful of commands, but I am not a programmer by any means. I don't know what all is possible because I just don't know it. So for me, it's easier to just update everything, create a new wasteboard like I've already done, and yeah, we're getting there. Doing that in between things. I know I'm going to have time on this welder video. I'm going to have time while I'm waiting for approval from the sponsor that where I will be working on that stuff. I got to get to that next guitar design, that multi-scale baritone that I mentioned. I've got to get back to that because I am itching still. I'm still excited about that project. It just hasn't gotten to where I've really been able to tackle it head on, and I'm getting there. Another thing I've been working on off the bench, not out here in the shop, is remember that TrueNAS server that I built or assembled or however you want to put it. I don't know, 6 months ago, 8 months ago. I've finally been really tackling that. I've had that up and running, and it's doing all of my document backup, music storage, and all that sort of thing. But I've been working on that quite a bit too, especially since it's been rainy and cold and snowy. A little bit more time has been spent inside. So I've been working on that, getting everything fully up and running. And I think I've pretty well got stuff running, media server, file backup, all of that sort of stuff is now running. And yeah, I'm really liking that. Still trying to find other cool uses for it though, like things that I could do here in the shop, other than accessing files remotely. But if anybody's got any good ideas of something you might be able to do in the shop, I'm open to suggestions. But yeah, I've spent quite a few hours over the last 3 or 4 days really getting that thing fine-tuned and working. But yeah, never a dull moment around here, that's for sure. If it's not one thing, it's 3 or 4 others. But we all know how that is, right? Oh, let's see here. Robert says that was strange. Had a pop-up ad, but when it started, the stream went to a split screen. It still showed the stream, but the sound of the ad. Interesting. See, now that would be I'd be okay with that. What do you guys think? I don't know. What that reminds me of is, have you ever been watching something on TV? Like, they probably do it with other things, but the only thing I've seen it on is once in a while I would turn on like a NASCAR race. And it seems like when they go to an ad break, they'll go split screen and they'll continue showing the race, but they'll be showing the ad. And I actually don't mind that as much. I don't know why. It doesn't seem as intrusive because you can still watch it. Interesting if YouTube is doing that. Like I don't have a problem with that, I don't think. I've not seen it yet, but it sounds interesting. Let's see here. KPS. What's going on? Says, hey, Jeff, you're awesome. Oh, thank you. What's going on? How we doing? Thanks for being here. I appreciate that. Right on. Where'd my coffee go? Can't be losing this coffee. It's too important today with it being cold. Sam says, would this idea work? A triangular shaped guitar neck with 3 specially shaped tuner heads on the end and a 3-sided body for bass, regular guitar, banjo effect. So, are you talking about something that you could like rotate and play a bass and then turn the whole instrument like a triangular instrument, or just the neck? Because I have seen, some of you may have seen this as well. it's some sort of mechanism with a round neck. Have you seen that? Where the thing, like something rotates somehow and it does different things? Don't know. That works. So I don't know why you couldn't. Well, that's only the neck. That's not changing. That's not the strings. I don't think it would work, Sam. I'm thinking through the whole thing. You'd end up with strings on all three sides of the triangle, which would, one, be very uncomfortable, but you'd also, like, how would you, how? I don't know. Like, I love the idea. Like, I'm not sure how you'd turn. In theory, yes, you could probably build it. The headstock would be a challenge, but you said special tuners. In theory, maybe. In practicality, probably not. Now Mike says no. Oh, Sam says yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'm with you, Sam. Yeah, I don't think in practicality it would be great. Now, a triple neck, that would be cool. One's a guitar, one's a bass, one's a banjo or something like that. That'd be interesting. And that is something that I want to make one of these days, at least as a double neck, just for fun. Maybe once I have this baritone design, maybe since I'll already have it digitized, it'd probably be pretty easy to take that and then, basically just offset the body to create the second neck. It probably wouldn't be all that hard. KPS says, thanks, mate. Love your videos. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And yeah, truly, it's awesome. And just so you know, we do this live every Wednesday at this time, 9 a.m. Mountain Time here in my time zone. So you do the math, figure that out, whatever it is, wherever you are. Love to have you. Everyone's welcome. It's always an open conversation. I don't typically have a topic. It's just kind of free flow. So, if you got any sort of questions, comments, suggestions, throw it out there. Doesn't matter if we're talking about 2 or 3 necks on an instrument and you got a woodworking type building a shelf question. It doesn't matter. Just throw it out there. And, as long as we keep everything on topic, we're good. Robert says it was better, but would have liked to hear the stream better than the ad. Yeah, I agree. I can hear that. That was the first time I've seen YouTube has done an ad doing the split screen. Yeah, I've not even heard about that. That's interesting. I'm going to be on the lookout for that. And everybody else, if you see that, let me know. I don't think I hate it as much as just cutting to an ad. But yeah, I'm with you, Robert. Like, being able to hear still would be nice. Mike says, the form they have developed in the 30s through 50s is the shape that works for our bodies. It does, yeah, I agree. But I do like, Mike, the thinking outside the box, right? I don't, just because we've always done it that way doesn't mean we always have to keep doing it that way, right? There's more than one way. But I 100% agree with you that the current sort of guidelines that have been set from the 30s to 50s, 60s, I do agree that those are more well perceived, not perceived, well regarded, maybe is the word. But I don't want to I don't want to discount other ideas, because who knows? We might land on something that redefines everything. You never know. But I totally get what you're saying. Absolutely. Let's see. Dude, HJD says, morning. Good morning to you. What's going on? How are you doing? Right on. Sam says, sorry to the musicians in the chat for coming up with a mutated guitar. Just curiosity, it's all. Sam, it's fine. You're good, man. No need to apologize. That's what I was just saying. I like the outside of the box. I like the different ideas. That's how new things are started, right? Yeah. Mike says, sure, you do the math. If we miss you, not our issue. This is, don't forget daylight savings time. Yeah, because well, the thing is, Mike, is I don't know where everybody's at, right? Like I can't tell you in your time zone. Well, I can tell you yours, but I don't know where everybody's coming from, and could be different country, could be different state, could be whoever, could be in the middle of a yacht in the middle of the ocean for all I know. So the only safe way is to tell you what time I'm starting. I'm starting this at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. If you don't live in Mountain Time, you know what I mean. Mike says, "Don't forget daylight saving." I know it's hard. It's hard to like Harry Dude's showing up from Australia, but he goes on daylight savings. They go forward, we go back. We go back. We go forward, they go back, and I can't keep it straight. Then you got Arizona that doesn't change at all. I don't even know where that line is. And if someone's in Arizona, I don't know. Are they on this side of the line? Are they on that side of the line? Are they in like a little county that still change? I don't know. I can't keep track of all of it. Robert says, speaking of banjos, I got a call from a friend last night who was a singer, songwriter, performer. Told me that he bought a 6-string banjo and was learning to play it. 6-string banjo is easy to play. It's just like a guitar. Well, I take that back. There may be different variants, but the ones I have played, it's just a guitar. I kind of want one. I do have a 5-string banjo that is actually played like a banjo, but the 6-string ones, you tune it just like a guitar and you can play it just like a guitar. There's not really, unless you're doing something different on it. Yeah, it shouldn't be much of a learning curve for that. So he'll probably have it down in no time. Mike says, outside the triangle. It says, just saying, no response necessary. Fair enough. Robert says, I think someone in the GGBO a couple years ago tried to build a guitar with 3 sides and a triangle configuration, with each side being a different type of guitar. Interesting. I don't remember that. Sam says, could you make a giraffe piano like a grand piano, but it goes upwards? Yeah. I don't know what that's called. An upright grand, I think, actually. Hey, dude, says Sam, plenty of multi-neck guitars out there. Check out Steve Vai's Hydra. Oh, yeah. Or Batio's 4-neck. Yeah, that he does this deal. I can't even grasp. Yeah, absolutely. But for some reason, I want to build a multi-neck. It's not going to go 2 different ways. It's going to be one here and one here. That's all. I don't even know what it would be. Like, I don't even know what know exactly what would be the difference, but I want to do it. So, way back when I first ever got interested in the idea of building a guitar, and this was a long time ago. I was probably 14-ish, somewhere around there. So we're quite a few years back. We're like, the house we lived in. This is kind of story time hour. So everyone make a cup of hot cocoa, and this is part of what got me interested in building guitars. I think I've mentioned before that it was around that time, 13, 14, 15 years old. I know, in that era, or somewhere around there. So we're back in the ice ages of the 90s, right? I was reading a Popular Mechanics or Popular Science magazine that my grandpa always got. One of those two. I don't know which one, but if somebody could locate that at some point, that would be incredible, because I cannot find the copy that I made of this magazine article. But I know it was Popular Mechanics or Popular Science. I found an article in there about building a Strat style guitar. It was a I believe the guitar in the article was red. I am positive it was a Strat style. And I borrowed that magazine from my grandpa and literally made copies of the pages that I kept for a very long time. And that's what I can't find now. But anyway, right, so when I saw those plans, because those magazines always included plans for some sort of project. And when I saw those, I was like, whoa, really? You can build a guitar? Up until then, I'm 13, 14, 15 years old. I don't really know a whole lot about, building. Well, I don't know anything about building guitars. But I know you can build other things, but there was just the concept of, wow, that's even possible? Like, that would be awesome. And I believe at that exact time, I was learning to play on an old classical guitar that my uncle had given me. Nylon strings, all that sort of thing. So I had this. I'm learning to play. I have this idea of building an electric guitar in my head, and I think that's so awesome. Well, I don't know. A month, 2 months goes by. I must have been talking about it like at home or something, because I find out that the neighbor that lives right next door to us was an older guy at the time, and I find out that he builds guitars, and that I need to go and visit with him. And so I go over to his house, and I start talking to him, and I think I probably brought the plans or something over there, and he starts bringing all of these guitars that he's built out. This is the early 90s, so I don't know when he built these, but late 80s to early 90s. He had one hanging on his wall that he was clearly proud of, and man, I wish I had that for some reason. It was a 5-neck Strat, and they were all laid out in a fan shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So you think of one straight up from the body like a normal guitar, and then he had 2 and 2, right? So it's just this whole fanned out thing. And it was the wildest looking thing that I had ever seen. And yeah, it's something that he had built. And this is before, any sort of, I don't know. I don't know what was around actually, but there was absolutely no CNC or anything like that. You might have been able to buy templates back then. In fact, you probably could, but I don't know. But it was so awesome. And I wish I had one of his instruments. This was so long ago, and I'm sure, I don't even know what happened to any of his stuff, but it was so awesome. I don't even remember now where I was going with this story, but the multi-neck, and I remember he brought out one that was a double neck, but he had this 5-neck one literally hanging on the wall in his living room. I'll never forget that. And it was, I don't know what the body was made out of, but it was a kind of a blonde, clear type of finish on there. It was so cool. And there was a framed picture of him next to this thing, and I remember that. And he's got a guitar strap, and he's holding it. I don't know if it was there at the house or what, but yeah, I'll never forget that. Okay, let's see. Mike says, like an old ZZ Top video where they spin the guitar. Yeah, woo! Hair Dude says 2 necks, maybe different scale length, or one with Floyd Rose, one without, or different pickups per neck. Yeah, that's something that I've been trying to think of, because I do want to build one. Probably not something that I would probably sell, but I want to build something for myself, kind of like my old neighbor did with that 5-neck one. Just like, hey, look it, I built a double neck. It's super cool. I've thought about a bass and a guitar kind of thing. You do a shorter scale bass. Well, I could even do my 32 scale bass. I don't know, but I just think it'd be cool. But yeah, put a Floyd on one, or different pickups, like some sort of high output pickups, and one with maybe, like a lesser output pickups, or single coils, and one's humbuckers, one's like a Strat kind of. Sam says, according to I know what you mean, the AI, it's actually called a giraffe piano. Had to use asterisk. Yeah, because the algorithm deletes comments. Yeah, that's crazy. Giraffe piano. I didn't know that was the actual word. I thought it was an upright grand. Sam says plucking strings emits different chords, but the G string emits a high-pitched screech. Impossible slap. Yeah, don't do that. Don't. I don't recommend it. Harry Dude. Ooh, Harry Dude's got a good idea. Harry Dude says 2 necks, 1 standard neck, 1 cigar box style 3-string. Ooh, I like that idea. I have never seen anything like that. Yeah, and then you could, yeah. Huh. That's a pretty cool idea. I dig that. You put a 3-string neck on there, it would definitely be different. What about a double neck cigar box? You could do a cigar box bass and a cigar box guitar. You might have to actually build the box, unless you could find an extra large box. Huh? Yeah, that would be kind of cool. I've been playing on this, just strumming, like messing with chords. Like it sounds pretty good. Now I want to just play it. I'm hearing some sort of machinery out there. Another thing that's kind of cool I'm excited about, I don't know if it's going to turn into anything. Remember a while back I talked about they're running fiber out here? Well, nothing ever came of that. I don't know what happened to it. And I guess it's for like the county or something. But the other day they came through and trenched in fiber conduit anyway, right through the yard. Like not out by the road, literally right through our yard. And that supposedly is the one that we're going to get connected to. The workers haven't been back for a couple of days, but I'm hearing something out there rumbling. So I don't know if they're out there doing some more work, but they dropped off some information about getting connected to this fiber, and I've already called and gotten on the list. So hopefully we'll be able to get on that fiber. Heritage says, did you make a fret height dial gauge thingy? Technical term. I love the technical terms. I have not made it yet. No, Harry Dude. That is on my list of things. Right now, you know, I've mentioned I'm working on this this welder video. And since that is, well, that one gets bumped to the top because, well, I got deadline on that one, which is rare. But I do, so I need to get that done. Then I will turn to working on the dial gauge string height indicator fret height technical thing. Yes, I will absolutely build one of those because it is one that I want. And yeah, it's on my list. But my list is a little bit flexible depending on what comes in. So, you know, I try to plan as best I can, but then something like an opportunity like this comes up and I just readjust everything. So I'll get to it. Don't you worry. Maybe that'll be the next video. Maybe I'll start on that right after this. That's actually a good idea. And that's pretty much how my schedule works. Well, what fits in right now? Oh, I could build this thing that I've been wanting to do. Bam, there we go. That's it. Sam says, would a thin wooden gasket to raise the middle by a couple centimeters be better than going out of the back of the future cigar box guitars? So I that's a good question, Sam. So I know you're talking about this, where I drilled the hole all the way through because the jack wouldn't fit. And yes, that's an option. I could have made a plate to raise that up, only about 1/8 of an inch, which is about what the thickness of the back is. Actually, it's a little more than 1/8, but that's about all I was missing here. I could have done that. I could have raised it up, and in fact, I did play around. So underneath the jack here, there's washers, and I did play around with. I removed as many washers as I could safely do so. I still have that knurled washer under there to bring the jack up, and it still didn't quite give me enough space. But yeah, you could do that. The thing is, like I mentioned in the video, right? The thing is, that problem, I've never encountered before. And there's a couple different ways to solve it. Many of you said, hey, put in a strat plate. And honestly, if I had one or had thought ahead enough to get one, I probably would have done that, because hands down, that's the best, cleanest option. It really is. But this way, I think it worked just fine. I have no problems with it. This is how I've done the jack on a lot of instruments, and well, on several of them anyway, right through the top. There's been a few that I've been able to put in the side, but it depends on the construction, at least for me. Yes, there's ways, there's things you can do, there's workarounds, there's different methods. I could have just drilled the hole anyway and then used the jack plate to kind of secure everything. I just didn't want to mess with that, and this was the method that I chose. But it's because this box is so slim. As long as it's not this slim, which I've never used one this slim, it wouldn't be a problem, like I've said already. But yeah, Sam, you're right. There's a couple different ways you could do it, and as far as I'm concerned, there's not a right or wrong method. There's some, like I said, that are cleaner than others, and the Strat one that goes in an angle, that would have been the perfect scenario. I just didn't want to order one, and I didn't really have time. Edgelight says, do you have an STL for the string height gauge thingy? No, not yet. Well, kind of. But I'm going to be, like, I do, but not one that I've drawn up yet. And I will probably put that out there when I design this. And really, there's not a whole lot of designing. Like, Harry Dude shared his with me, but I'm not gonna share you his unless he wants to share his. But you know what I'm saying? So yes, I do, but no, I don't. But I will. How's that for non-confusing answer? Sam says, I meant between the back and the lid. Oh, like to space the whole thing. You could. You could. But then it wouldn't, I'd have to move the hinges, right? You'd have a weird strip of wood in here. There's upsides and downsides to everything. And like I said, there's not a right or wrong way. Stay. So yeah, I know what you mean now, Sam. Yeah, just to space the two apart. Yeah, you could do that. You could even do some sort of a contrasting wood and make it a feature. You could. You absolutely could. Robert says, just had the split screen ad pop up again. It was for one of the Ridge wallets. Why is it popping up so much? I don't understand that. But that's interesting. Interesting. Let's see. So yeah, so maybe I will work on the string height gauge after this is done. Yeah, I think that'd be a good project. And then while I'm designing it on the computer, I can also work on the guitar, the multi-scale that I'm working on. But trying to get a couple things done before the weather really takes a turn. And yeah, stuff like that, where I know I have to spend some time at the computer. Those are great for those days when it's, 10 below zero or there's a snowstorm going on. Those are awesome because that gives me the opportunity to be able to still get some stuff done, even when the weather is kind of crappy. So yeah, so those are good ones. But the string height gauge would be pretty helpful. Another thing I want to make too is a tramming gauge for the CNC, so that you have a pin that goes into the spindle, and then an arm that comes off it, and on the end of that arm is an indicator, so that you can basically set the indicator, and then you spin the thing around to indicate if your table is dead flat and square. And that's something else that I want to make. Mike says I did a half-inch spacer on mine. I'm guessing that's half inch, or did a half spacer, and placed the jack on the edge away from the neck. Lots of choices. Yeah, there's tons of different ways. And like I said, there's not a right or wrong, really. It's what works and what doesn't work. And yeah, it's all in what works with what you have available and your methods, and yeah, it's just one way to do it. Robert says, if you check the weight of the cigar box guitar to see how much it weighs, I'm pretty sure it's very light. I have not. I need one of those scales, like one of those fish scale thingies where you just hang. But yeah, it's very light. I don't know what it weighs exactly. A couple pounds, maybe. Yeah, it's pretty light. But yeah, I should get one of those, hang it from the ceiling, and just weigh stuff. It's pretty light. It's sad. The coffee's gone. Now what? Hopefully it warms up and I don't need more. My coffee is officially gone. Alrighty, let's see here. How we doing? I'm showing we're getting some dropped frames. But nobody said anything about the video acting funny. So if you guys are seeing weird stuff, let me know. I'm showing quite a few dropped frames, but not an insane amount. But still, usually a lot of times it's 0. And the stream says excellent. I don't know. That's weird. I haven't noticed anything on my end, but it is giving me notifications. Sam, make a guitar-shaped shovel for clearing the snow. I'm definitely going to need something. I got to dig the shovel out before too long. Thankfully, I haven't had to yet. You could. The neck is the handle, and you're shoveling snow with the body. Robert says, oh no, no more coffee. Yes, it is out. There's no hiccups on the stream here. Well, that's good. I'm glad. Yeah, I just happened to look down, and it says I got 1.6% dropped frames. I don't know. That's why I'm excited for the possibility of getting good internet. I say possibility because I have no idea when that's going to happen. Something I read said March or April. I hope it doesn't take that long, but who knows? Sam says, start making some frames to replace the ones that got dropped. Yes. Well, we came across some frames yesterday, doing a little bit of cleaning out in the house, and would you call it fall cleaning? And came across some picture frames. I'm like, why do we have picture frames? Like, if we need frames, I'm just going to make them. Let's toss these. So I've got extras to replace the ones that are dropped. Yeah, I've been trying to do some cleaning up here in the shop too, just to get some stuff out of here, throwing a few things away, reorganizing some materials. I'm going to have to do something. Most of that was brought on by the fact that I got this laser to test out, so that needs a place to stay. And it's been kind of hard to find a spot for, so I've been trying to clean out. I've got a stack of like slabs and boards. You can't see them, but they're right over here. I got to do something with those, I think. And then I could shove this laser right there. It's a challenge. Always a challenge. Always a challenge. Let's see here. So those of you here in the U.S., who's got plans for Thanksgiving tomorrow? I know we're going to spend a little bit of time with family. have some, some food and fun and all that sort of thing. But anybody else got any special plans, or what are we doing? Planning to eat too much food? I know I am. Harry Dude says, gotta go, folks. Just finished up working on site. Stay well. Catch you all next week. Harry Dude, right on. Take care. Stay safe. And yeah, be safe on the drive home. So right on, Harry Dude. Take care. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Yeah, so tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to it. Sam says baked potatoes with baked beans and cheese is delicious in cold weather. It sounds good to me. I like baked beans, especially like homemade baked beans with baked potatoes. Do you put the beans on the potatoes? I don't know. Sam says, be safe, Harry Dude. Right on. Robert says, going to my sister's for Thanksgiving tomorrow. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we're just going to some family here in town. I wish I could go back to the East Coast. I haven't been home for Thanksgiving. Oh, it's been, well, ever since I've moved out here, it's been over 20 years since I've been home for Thanksgiving. We've done Christmas, and then like my favorite time to go is summer and all that, but haven't been home for Thanksgiving in a long time. Yep. The gang's still getting together back home anyway, where they always do, which is pretty awesome that they're still doing that. One of my aunts usually hosts back there, but yeah, I'd love to be able to show up for that. Especially unannounced. How fun would that be? You just walk in. What? Yep, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Edgelight says, this Canadian says, happy Thanksgiving to my American friends. I got invited to my brother's in Michigan, but it's too far away. Right on, Edgelight. Well, thank you. Yep. Sorry, but everything scrolled and I lost where I was on the comments. Sam says you cut the potato halfway into a V, add beans, and top with cheese. Okay, so it's like a loaded baked potato, but with beans. See, I like it with butter and sour cream and all that inside like a baked potato. Ooh, yeah, super good. Bacon on top. Sounds good to me. Robert says a good thick potato soup with added sausage is real good on cold days. Yes, yes, we have one that we make or fairly often. Potato soup, and especially this time of year, yes, it's the best. Man, now I'm getting hungry. Wait, we should like cook something in one of the episodes one of these days. That'd be kind of interesting. I've thought about that before. Like, what would you call it? Home cooked workshop, home baked workshop. Just making something. I don't know. Edgelight says, "Do you guys really make turduckens?" It's a thing, apparently, but no, I don't know anybody that ever makes that. I think that's more of a. I mean, I've heard of it, and I know that it is a thing. It's just not something that anybody I know has ever done. Like I know people have done it, but no, we don't. It's usually ham and turkey or steak or some sort of thing, prime rib. A lot of people do different things, but I personally don't know anyone that's ever truly made a turducken. There's maybe a southern thing. I don't think it's. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know where it's originated from, but it's just not something that many of us do at all. It sounds interesting, but I'm not interested in it. I'll stick with ham. I'm not even a huge turkey fan. There, I put it out for all the world to see. I'll eat turkey. I don't have a problem with it. But if there's any other option other than turkey, I'll take that almost every time. I don't know. It's just not my. I don't know. I'd much rather have ham. Sam says Americanized English favorites isn't great. It's like adding English rules to baseball. Robert says 1 year for Thanksgiving, one of my cousins bought a turducken and we had it, but it was not great. Edgelight says I googled it. It's from Louisiana. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know the details on it. It's like how unpopular it is, I would say. And sorry if anyone from Louisiana is watching, and it's super popular. Where I am, anyway, it's not popular. It's one of those novelty things, kind of like what you said, Robert. Somebody bought one as a, it's just not one of those things. Edgelight says, my plan was to marry an American so I could have turkey 3 months in a row. Yes, because you have... I'm going to mess this up, and I apologize. Isn't Canadian Thanksgiving in October, right? I think. Again, sorry if I am getting that wrong. So you'd have October, November, December, if I got that right? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, you said we have it in October. Whew! That's one thing I don't want to do. I don't want to like mix up, special holidays for, especially in other countries. So, yes, that's what I thought. I thought it was in October. And then yes, you'd have Canadian Thanksgiving, then you'd have US Thanksgiving, and then Christmas. Yeah. There's got to be something in January. What's in September? You could have something in September too. I don't know. Yeah, you could just make a turkey. Make a turkey whenever. You could have it in July. 4th of July turkey. There you go. Actually, no, that would be American. You could find another holiday. Easter turkey. Halloween turkey. Yeah, there you go. Who does that? Oh, let's see. Sam says, I got accused of disrespectful behavior for not celebrating Thanksgiving once by an American. I had to explain to him that I'm from England. They didn't get it. Yeah. It's like, I don't expect anyone outside of the US, you know what I mean? I wouldn't get mad at somebody for that. Like, I totally understand. It's an American thing. It's a US thing. Yeah, it's like, Canada, like we were talking about. They have the Canadian Thanksgiving in October. Unless you want a turkey, why? For some reason. Yeah, I totally get it. Robert, yes, that is what I've heard. Robert says the duck has such a strong flavor, made the turkey and chicken taste like duck. I have heard basically that, and that doesn't sound good to me. I'm not a duck or goose fan. I just don't. I don't do that. So if it's got that in there, I'm probably not going to partake. I mean, I might try it if somebody had it, but I'm sure not eating that as my main meal. Anyway, well, I think we probably ought to wrap this up. I got to shoot some video clips here as soon as possible because I got to get this video done. And I got a friend of mine coming up here shortly. He's going to he's doing it outside, but he's changing brakes on his car, so he's going to need some tools and things. So I want to get all my video shooting done before then, if I can. And yeah, try to get all that done. Edgelight says, I think we do it a month early because the harvest is earlier. Really? Is that why? I thought maybe it was just a different... Well, I never really thought of it, I guess. Huh. Interesting. So your harvest is earlier, probably because you're more northern. Interesting. Yeah. And it is right about now when if you don't have everything harvested here, you're going to be kind of out of luck. So I could see that. Sam says it's a thing celebrated for becoming free from the UK. I mean, kind of, but I never really thought about it like that. It's just to be thankful for the bountiful harvest and everything else, to be thankful for. Here's what I'm thankful for this Halloween, this Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for all of you, for coming on here every week in, week out, hanging out, chatting, talking about stuff, and just in general being awesome people, thank you. I don't care where you're from. I'm thankful for all of you. Sam says, thank you for the fantastic stream today, Jeff. Edgelight says, it's too cold in November. We have snow already. There you go. That does make sense. Normally, we do too, but we don't this year for sure. Robert says, hope you get to keep the welder after the review if you like it a lot. So far, I really like it, and probably we'll keep it around, I'm thinking. Robert says, best of luck to everyone. Stay safe and healthy, and press the like button. Yes, everyone, hit that thumbs up button. Please, please, please take a minute. Go to the last video of the cigar box guitar. Hit that hype button on your mobile device. Scroll down to the comments. Swipe that thing. Hype. Please hype as much as you can if it shows up on your device. It all helps the algorithms. And by all means, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I know you guys all are, though. Anyway, thank you, everyone, for hanging out today. It was awesome as well. Again, I want to wish all my American friends happy Thanksgiving. And everyone else, happy Thanksgiving, too, in a different way, right? Hope you guys all have an awesome week. Get on your shops, build some cool things, and just make the best of it. Right on. Appreciate all of you. You guys, stay safe. Sam says 5 degrees in the UK. Can't see the thing, so it's 40 degrees, roughly. Not bad, not bad. Right on, everybody. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. You guys, we're out of here. I got to get back to work. Take care, everyone. We'll talk to you later. Yes, and we're out. Oh, there's an error. Take care, everyone. Thank you.